All right, good evening. I will now call this special meeting to order. Apologize for the delay in the start, but we're all ready to go now. First item is quorum. Madam CAO, do we have quorum?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we do have quorum.
Okay, next is declarations of conflicts of interest. Does anybody have a conflict to declare? Okay. Next is adoption of agenda for tonight's meeting. Do I have a mover to adopt the agenda? Moved by by Deputy Mayor Jean Gras. Seconded by Councillor Martin. Are you ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the agenda in its current form, show your consent by saying yes.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. And on to the item of the evening.
Perfect.
So I'll give the floor to Hannah because I think she's got some things to explain so that we fully understand what we're.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I appreciate everybody being able to come in tonight for a special meeting. So the reason that we're here tonight is because tomorrow is the deadline to have our application in for authorization to borrow funds. So assuming that council wishes to proceed with spending some of the CCBF funding, we don't have that money up front, so we would need to apply for authorization to go and get interim financing. So that is non-committal, so council's not committing to spending the money. It's just the deadline for this board meeting, I believe, is June 9th. So the deadline for the application is tomorrow, and there's no more hearings during the month of July or August. So we're really down to the last hours here. So before I go any further with that, there's a second motion that I've prepared for council for consideration. And that motion is to contract Englobe Corp for civil engineering services that would be related to the project that we would possibly be borrowing money for. And that's the parking lot and drainage upgrades for this property here. So does council have any questions that is maybe unclear?
About either one, or?
About either one,
So,
yeah.
so let's start with the first one, the borrow for the interim financing that would hold us over until we could access the gas tax. Does anybody have any questions about that item? Okay. Oh, okay. Councillor Martin?
Now, we have the amount here. So if we do get the tenders back and they are slightly higher, can we then apply for the next one available, or is this one and done?
You wouldn't want to go back to the Capital Borrowing Board and ask for more. Again, I use these amounts. I use the total amount for 1 million for borrowing. The reason I did that, and council can change those amounts if you want, we do have our 2024 gas tax money. We received a letter today, or Madam Mayor received a letter showing that our capital investment plan is approved. So what that means is that we'll get our second allotment of the 2024 gas tax or CCBF funding. So we have that little bit of money that we have, and we won't have to borrow that. So I felt comfortable with $1 million, knowing that council has this preliminary estimate of what the parking lot could look like. So it's ultimately up to you guys what you want to, how much you want to go for authorization for. This is my suggested amount, but it's up to you guys.
Okay. Councillor Savoy?
I'm personally, I'm okay with the amounts that you're requesting to go to the board with. My question is just to look forward to final cost. Have you looked at what our interest payments will be for the short period of time that we will have the money borrowed for?
So that will actually go through our new banking financial institution that we use through CIBC. I don't have what the interest rate is on me right now. I don't.
But are we looking like in the tens of thousands or in the thousands?
No, because there'll be a quick turnaround. Like, we're only going to be borrowing this amount for 5 years at the most.
I'm just
So
curious.
it's probably, yeah.
You're gonna know by budget time what we have to,
Oh, yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah. Actually, the Department of Community Finance will give me the figures. They will physically give me the amounts of
Oh, perfect.
payments and interest.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Anything else on that topic? Okay, so on to the Englobe contract. Do we have questions on that topic? Deputy Mayor Jean Gras.
So, I guess my question is, does this amount roll into the 1 million as well?
That's my thought, is that it would be included out of the 1 million. The only thing is that if we, as an example, we contract Englobe to do the engineering services, they prepare the tender packages come back, and for whatever reason, they're, way exponentially more than what the original prices were, and council determines they don't want to proceed, there's gonna be, we can't capitalize the engineering services unless it's part of the project.
Okay. So, if we don't go forward, we're on the hook for 85? Is that what you're saying?
No, it would be less than 85 because we'd basically just be paying for their time to do that part. So the 85, or I feel like I'm misspeaking when I say 85. Is it 85? That includes the entire project,
Okay.
the management for the entire project. So we would be dipping into that, my guess would be somewhere between like 5,000 and 10,000, or maybe at the most.
Okay, so a project that we initially agreed would be 1 million is now 1,085,000.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make that clear.
No,
So I guess, again, guys, we're not bound to anything except the amount that we're paying them to do the tendering, and if we decide that this is too much, we can 100% say, nope, we're good, we don't want to do it. So are we good with questions? Are we good to move to the motions, or do we want to have more conversation? I don't want to rush anybody, it kind of seems like we don't have questions, but,
I do have a question.
okay, Counselor Savoy?
My mind is just maybe faulting on this, but did they say when they did the presentation that when they go through the tender process, are they gonna select the company, or it's coming back to us and we have the final say on who contractor will be?
So it would ultimately come back to council for that decision.
Okay.
Yeah, and
In
then.
that case, I'm all good.
Yeah, okay. And then when a tender's issued, it comes back to you guys, you vote on it, and then I would have you guys pass a motion for that tender, yeah.
No other questions? Okay, so we need a mover for the first motion.
I'll move.
Okay, moved by Counselor Savoy. Oh, sorry, guys, one more thing. Everybody's good with those amounts? Sorry, I should have asked that as well. Okay, sorry, guys. Counselor Savoy, go ahead.
Be it resolved that Maple Hills Rural Community submit to the Municipal Capital Borrowing Board the application to authorize to borrow for a capital expense for the following terms and amount. Do I have to read the purpose and all that?
Yeah.
So purpose, general government services, upgrade storm sewer system and improve to existing parking lot and municipal offices and recreational facilities to the amount of $300,000 on the term of 5 years. Purpose, recreation and cultural services, upgrade storm sewer system and improve the existing parking lot for municipal offices and recreation facilities, 70%, to the amount of $700,000 for 5 years.
Okay, do I have a seconder on that motion? Seconded by Counselor Murray. Are we ready for the question?
Question?
We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of approaching the Capital Borrowing Board for the amounts indicated by Counselor Savoy, show your consent by saying yes.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. All right, do I have a mover on the second motion? Move, Counselor Martin.
Be it resolved that council contract Englobe for civil engineering services for the parking lot and drainage upgrade project for the amount not exceeding $85,400 plus HST as presented in the letter dated April 23rd, 2025.
Do I have a seconder on that motion? Seconded by Counselor Murray. Are we ready for the question?
Question.
We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of proceeding with Englobe's contract, show your consent by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. And now we're at a loss. I need somebody to adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned by Deputy Mayor
Can you call
John
us?
Graff.
Can you call it by proxy?
Can we go in and change that?
I noticed it as we were going.
Happened before. I just thought, I get demoted.
I was like,
I had asked